Thank you for tuning in to The Real Tea with T3. I'm Tesia Harris, the team leader of Texas Trio Team. We are so excited that you're tuning in to our podcast today. We're going to cover a lot of real estate topics, serving and spilling about business owners and what they do. So I've got a special guest with me on my team. Who are you?
Michelle Duty, real estate team member.
Yes. And so we've got a great guest, Paul Martinez. So tell us, Paul, who are you and what keeps you busy these days?
Hey everybody, my name is Paul Martinez. I'm with Goosehead Insurance. We have an office here in Belleville, Brenham, and just kind of want to explain our business and what we do and how we like working with realtors. So
how long have you been in the insurance industry, and what got you into that?
Goosehead's been 4 years. So what got me into it?
Yeah.
I mean, I just like helping people, sales. I like sales. So it was an opportunity for me with my manager, Kyle, and we really enjoyed it and really want to keep expanding and, working with you guys. So. Yeah.
So were you in sales like in a early start in your career, or was that just something new that you were like, I think I might have a niche for that?
No, I have. I've always had my real estate license as well. So in that sense, but before that I was, worked for a co-op and, was in the right-of-way department. So that was also negotiating and selling. So, it's just kind of always been something that I've been interested in and kind of worked out.
So like an electric co-op?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. I was there for 19 years.
Wow.
Yep.
So I bet you saw a lot of interesting things, like getting out were you out in the road, or were you just like behind the computer most of the time?
Well, it was about 50-50. I'd have to go out and meet with people to go over, new right-of-ways, or if we wanted to purchase right-of-ways, or in that sense. So, yeah, I mean, it was out. If I wanted to stay in or had stuff to do, I'd be in the office. But, yeah, I'd also get out and go meet the members as well.
Yeah, so you were dealing with customers and dealing with that. And then what was the switch that you were like, I want to be in real estate?
Real estate is, there's always opportunities there. My focus is on the insurance side.
Right.
Working with real estate agents. So
just as kind of an extra tool in your tool belt to have.
Right.
And building those relationships.
Right, because I don't want to give up my license. I have to hang it somewhere.
Yeah.
So, what better place than here with you guys? So we can all work together.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's the ultimate goal.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
We can all benefit from working together. And that's what Kyle and I have really focused on. And I think that's why, it's working so well.
Right. And everybody that is purchasing a home should have insurance.
Correct.
So you're seeing that day in and day out.
Yes, ma'am. And right now, we can go on and on about everything that's happening with the insurance industry. I'm sure everybody's aware of.
We want to dive into it.
All the rate increases, which I deal with myself. We're all part of it. And it's because of the recent storms. And there hasn't been rate increases in a while, and just everything in general. So for home buyers like you guys, especially right now with the rates the way they are, it's best to get a quote during the option period.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That way, your clients aren't going to waste a bunch of money on appraisals, inspections, because who knows? Our insurance rates could be, or their insurance rates could be way more than they thought they were going to.
Right. So they're kind of looking at maybe HOAs, taxes, like the public data that's available, whereas it varies house to house as far as insurance, right?
Yep. Zip codes.
Zip codes.
Yeah. That's the zip codes and counties. And right now in Harris County and Fort Bend County, it's really tough because a lot of carriers aren't writing any new business. Just because, like I said, the rates have increased, inflation. A home that cost $200,000 3 years ago, today it costs $400,000.
Right.
So their risk is substantially
It's almost
growing
doubled, yeah.
without even writing any business.
Right.
So, and all that comes into play, and that's why we like working with you guys, because, yeah.
So when you're dealing with these rate increases during the option period, so just for anybody that doesn't know, your option period is kind of the due diligence time.
Right.
So that's whatever your realtor, you've negotiated on a contract that, you can do additional due diligence. And then for, whatever reason, if you're not happy, you have the opportunity to terminate that agreement, based on those terms. So is it wise? Like with inventory being so low, and I think that it's still a high demand for buyers out there, and prices, we're not seeing massive decreases, but it's staying pretty consistent. So when you're looking at insurance, like I would anticipate, yes, during the option period, but also while you're looking to buy, like to kind of see what that looks like. Is that a kind of a decision that you think would be wise for a buyer to start thinking about?
Yes, but I mean, we really don't want to. I mean, we want to help you out as much as we can, but our goals are once it's under contract.
Right.
If they're going to be shopping around, wondering, yeah, I mean, I'm happy to help, but
maybe just a general, like you said, zip code, like talking about zip code. So if they're thinking, okay, I'm going to buy in,
and it depends. I mean, there's so many
77833.
factors. Age of the home, what kind of plumbing, electrical, age of the roof is a major factor. So, yes, the rates are going to be different in different zip codes, but like all that comes into effect too.
Right.
And if they're just shopping around, I mean, they're not going to know the age of the roof, what type of plumbing, what type of electrical.
So do you have a database that you're getting that information from? Like, because I think sometimes that even an agent may not really know anything about the electrical, plumbing. That's more on the inspection report, like you're saying, during the option period.
Yes. So, 9 times out of 10, the agents are going to know, and I always call them. Mm-hmm. And I have access to HAR and TXLS, so it helps me a lot. So I can see the seller's disclosure, because the sellers are supposed to be disclosing, everything they know about the house.
Right.
So the listing agent are always helpful if I call them and ask them, because if it's an older home, if I call them and ask them what type of plumbing or electrical or how old the roof is, if they don't know, they'll go to the seller and ask, and give me that information.
For sure.
So whenever they go through the inspection and all of that, but what if it was like a remodeled home? Is there big indicators whenever you see like an old, because out here, like in Washington County, you see a lot of old homes, but they are claiming to be completely remodeled.
Yeah, that comes back on the inspection too.
Yeah.
And like I said, the listing agent 9 times out of 10 knows all that information.
Right.
And if they don't, they'll go ask the seller.
Have you ever seen it where a buyer waives their inspection?
Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm sure you guys have too.
Oh, yeah.
We don't like it.
Yeah, don't advise it.
It always makes me nervous.
In that situation, I'll always document, saying, hey, I asked you 100 times. You know what I mean?
In writing and on the phone.
Text them, email them, whatever.
Right.
That way you guys are covered. And us as well. I mean, but yeah, I always get an inspection. I mean, $500, why not? I mean, this is one of the biggest investments you're going to make. Mm-hmm. So,
for sure,
in my opinion. But
so, whenever you are looking at where your industry stands today, I'm going to talk about a client that was telling me that he was from a state where a lot of the insurance providers were not even going to issue any more policies.
Some carriers right now in certain areas aren't. But
what's the reason for that?
Just because everything we just talked, everything about the rate increases and their book of business, their risk is just getting too large for them. So they want to.
Do you anticipate that they'll stay in business for a long time if they're just not taking any more policies at all in that area?
Yeah, no, they're still going to be in business. It's just like anything else. Just like when all the rate increases with the interest rates, everybody kind of took a step back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? All the buyers anyway. Mm-hmm. So I mean, they're just protecting themselves. I get it, 100%.
Right.
So, but yeah, they'll be fine. I mean, they're not going anywhere. And for some reason, if they were, good thing about us is we're a broker, so we have over 100 companies that we represent, and we can shop around and find something else for you. But that's not that's not the case. That's not. I don't want people to think that I'm bashing any.
No, yeah,
insurance
for
company.
sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's one of those things, like you said, everybody kind of took a step back in the market whenever interest rates went up, but then people were like, okay, that's not changing, so I still need a house.
Right.
Same goes for insurance.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just like with the rates, interest rates. I mean, yeah, it was great for a couple of years. Everybody was blowing and going. But when you think about it, the years before that, I mean, interest rates were more than they are now. And once people realize that, then, kind of gets everything moving again. And that's just like us. I mean, we're going to do, our best for you. And we'll go to war for you, man. That's what we do.
Right.
Just like you guys. So, and like I said, and all of us working together, I think is a major factor in getting everything, helping everybody, helping your clients, helping our clients.
Right.
Because we're just like you. We want repeat business.
Yeah. So it sounds like just no matter what industry that you've been in, like you're really wanting to stand like shoulder to shoulder with the people that you're working with and for.
For sure.
Where did that come from? Was that something you grew up with?
I guess, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Is it just something like you always wanted to be in like the hospitality of helping everybody?
Huh. That is kind of funny you say that. I guess. I don't know. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because, who else is going to do it, right?
And you're wearing many hats, and so that you can multifaceted that. A lot of people can't do that. It's to say, I've done this and I do this and this, in your everyday life. How are you managing a multifaceted career like that?
Got to have a schedule. You got to, always on Sundays, I plan my week out, write it down. I set my alarm on my phone so I know how much time I have, for this thing, for this. I'm just used to it.
So do you think that time management is probably a top priority?
Most important thing, in my opinion.
Did you struggle with that when you started out?
I've always been pretty good at it, but yeah, we've had, a lot of training on it, and that's when I learned that you got to plan. You have to write it out. For me, I know it's not good for everybody, but I like writing it down. I use my phone, and like I said, my alarm goes off. It's probably going off right now. It goes off so much. And my fiance, Lainey's like, oh my God, all these alarms. But it works for me. And that's what counts, I guess, for me.
Yeah. So you're using delegating time for yourself to sit and focus on your business.
Yes. And you can't get distracted. And that's very easy to do. It's easy for me to do. I love doing, I love to play golf. I love outdoors. I love my kids. So that's why I had to start writing everything down and just making sure that I was staying on track and not going this way or that way. And yeah, it's really helped my business grow. And build relationships too. I set a certain amount of time, to come see you or come by here or any other realtors. And I think it kind of makes you guys feel better. Like
somebody has our back,
yes.
For a service that we need
yes.
on an everyday basis, right?
Yes. Because, I know how hard, like I said, I've been in the real estate business for a while as well. I know how hard you guys work, especially with buyers. You might go show them 10 houses, 15 houses. Finally find one you like. The last thing you guys want to hold up closing, is insurance. And I've seen it happen before.
Absolutely.
Because like the same thing we talked about earlier, just they weren't prepared to pay that much, or didn't want to pay that much. They didn't want their mortgage to be this much. You know, they had a mindset of how much they wanted to pay, and somebody told them this is probably how much it's going to cost. And unfortunately, until we run the numbers, you never know.
Yeah, and the truth is, most of the time in transactions that, getting a quote for insurance doesn't really come up until closer to closing from the title company. So as an agent, definitely getting it during option is brilliant. I love that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I've given training here before, option period.
Right.
Because it does make a difference, unfortunately. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so you're not even talking about, I know that you can, bundle and save. So,
Yes.
What all can somebody put insurance on with their homeowners insurance to save if they're wanting to?
Yeah, we have homeowners, auto, flood, umbrella, renters, dwelling policies. So we have an option for all your clients. One of the main things right now that I'm trying to coach my clients on is flood insurance. Because, you saw the last storm we had. We didn't think it was going to come this way, and it kind of took a hard right. And several, even a couple of my clients' homes got flooded, which they're not in the floodplain, but
Right.
the past has shown us that for the amount of money that a flood policy costs, it's well worth an investment for sure. Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, it's I feel bad for them, man. Super bad.
So y'all write the flood policies at Goosehead? Or you could, okay.
Yeah.
I always, for some reason, thought you had to go directly to FEMA for that.
No, we have several carriers, different carriers.
Oh, okay.
So we shop that as well.
Good to know.
But yeah, we always, I'm not saying we push flood, but we always advise, for the cost of the policy to protect your dwelling. Yeah, because the last thing you want is something like another hurricane coming in or that we're not aware of. And like Houston's all concrete, unfortunately. Water's got to go somewhere, and unfortunately, most of the time it's in the home.
So whenever someone is working on their policies and say it wasn't in a floodplain, but then they're going to, a storm impacted that house, in a couple years from now. Do you think FEMA goes in and updates that on a regular basis?
They do update the maps, the flood maps, but yeah, I don't know if I really want to talk about FEMA.
Okay.
Yeah. Can we edit that?
We'll edit that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't have to at all. I think, and whenever I started,
no, just because government and
yeah, and I'm sure their stuff changes.
Yeah, no, the maps change. Not all the time. They recently had an update, I guess, about 2 years ago. And that's the good thing about us. We have different carriers that give you different options.
When I first started in real estate, honestly, I don't remember anything, it was, what was the one in 08? Wait,
what, hurricane?
Yeah.
Rita? That wasn't Rita.
Or maybe it
Harvey?
wasn't. No, that was definitely not
was
that one. But
2018.
yeah,
18?
but I remember whenever I started in real estate, that people were just like, flood insurance is so expensive. It's so expensive. But you're just making it sound like it's really not that expensive on an an annual policy.
Depending on where you are on the flood map. No, I think.
It's nickels and dimes in comparison to not having
it's
it.
per structure also, though, right? Isn't that correct?
What's
The flood insurance is per structure, correct?
Right,
So
it's
if you
for
have a
your
guest
home.
house, a main house, and a shop, do you have 3 different policies there?
No, there's different options to add on different structures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, even if it's $2,000 a year compared to
Hundreds of thousands of dollars in damage. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's not just floods. We're talking about floods, but it's not just that. That's freezes. and like when your water main might break or something like that afterwards. I mean, there's a lot.
No, that would be covered under your homeowners insurance.
Right.
Yeah, but the flood is just from
Water's rising.
Yeah.
flood.
Yeah.
So if we get a hurricane or whatever,
12 inches of rain all of a sudden.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? This weather, I'm kind of over it. I mean, especially in our area. I mean,
It's so weird. Like last week, it was like buckets and buckets of rain, and now it's just like I can't breathe outside. It's so hot.
yeah, it is a little warm. But I mean, even like with the hailstorm we had in Belleville, and then we had the wind shears. I guess it's wind shears or tornado. You know, our golf course got destroyed. I mean, we lost over 50 trees. Yeah, I mean, now every time I'm even gun shy now. I'm like, crap. Is it going to rain? Is it going to hail? Or what are we going to get today? You know what I mean?
Right. I felt like for years in the summer it's like hot, but this summer it's like I don't know what's going on.
That's what my brother says. He makes me laugh every time I talk to him. Yeah. I mean, who would have thought you'd be worried about hell in summertime?
Right.
Yeah.
In August. Yeah.
Never.
And it's not even like the peak of hurricane season yet.
Oh, I know, man. I'm praying we don't have any anymore, but I'm sure we will. We're due.
I looked at the Farmer's Almanac. Do you ever read the Farmer's Almanac?
I haven't in a long time. My mother gave me one a while back.
You should always listen to your mother.
I do. I do for sure. She's great. But yeah, I mean, I always go with my gut, and unfortunately, hopefully, we're not going to get any more storms. But it just seems like everything's right. You know, the water temperature, the way the winds are working. Who knows? But I mean, I hope not. But
You just
the
have
next
to be
one's
prepared.
going to Florida.
yeah.
Oh, you think so?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's
Yes.
something heading that way.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Legitimately.
Next
Yes.
Wednesday, yeah. And we've been so lucky, man, here in the Gulf, here in Texas. You know,
It's strange how many miles we are away from the actual Gulf, and we can still see the major impacts and how far these things can go.
oh yeah. I mean, all that affects us too.
Because you're probably servicing customers down in that region all the way up to here, right?
Yeah, we're in Texas only, or I am anyway. But yeah, I mean, I have some clients that had some damage from the last storm, and it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it was still damage. You know what I mean? And it hurts. I mean, I feel for them. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't imagine.
But it's got to be difficult when these things happen, especially if you're working in your neck of the woods. Is like that it's happened to all of your customers, but it's also impacting you too, like probably. So maybe you don't have power or you're not having internet and everything else.
Yes, we did lose Wi-Fi and cell service for, I don't know, like a day and a half. We never lost power, though. So that was...
It's really strange talking to everybody and all the differences that everybody had.
Yeah, so our subdivision is kind of newer, so all of our power lines are underground. We have a couple of trunk feeders in the back, but they're new power lines, so all the right-of-way was clear. There wasn't any trees to fall on them, so we got really lucky.
So it was like but then you did lose power?
No, we never lost power.
Oh, you never did? Okay.
No.
Yeah, because I was like...
Wi-Fi and cell was kind of sketchy for a couple of days, but power we had the AC running for sure.
So I heard you say you're engaged.
I am.
When's the big day?
We're still working on that. We have a couple of not obstacles, but a couple other events coming up. So probably I would, if I was a gambling man, I would say towards the end of the year, and I'm super excited.
She's great.
Awesome.
She is. I got lucky for sure.
Yeah. So how is it balancing all the multifacets of work that you're doing, whether real estate, insurance, plus being a dad, and then obviously getting ready to get married?
I mean, I don't know. I never really thought. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just part of it. It's kind of what men do, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And so Whenever you're thinking about insurance by the end of 2024, like, are you seeing maybe that things might lower a little bit?
If I had a magic ball, I mean, you know, I would like to think that, but
Hard to say.
I mean, it's kind of like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody, oh, my insurance is so high. Well, yeah, I get it too, man. But when you go to the grocery store or go to the gas station, everything's going up.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of have to put it in perspective.
I was talking actually to my mom the other day, and she was saying that the average family is spending $2,000 a month on groceries.
I'm sure.
That's crazy.
I only have 2 people in my household. I'm thankful for that now.
You can have some of mine.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, cost of living.
So what about technology and like in your industries? Like, what are you seeing as far as growth that you're wanting to tap into more, or things that you're starting to implement that you think other people could take advantage of?
When you say technology.
Yeah, like any like AI, any marketing tools or anything like that?
I mean, I'm kind of old school. I haven't really jacked with any AI. I like going to having face-to-face meetings, I think that, or that's what I like anyway. I think that
taking people to the golf course.
I wish. I haven't played too much golf. But yeah, that, going to charity tournaments, or like I said, stopping by here, I feel like people will appreciate it more, and you get more accomplished, I think. That's just the way I've always been that way.
I like authentic conversations for sure.
Instead of, I'll text you, but most of the time I'd rather call you. But yeah, I'd rather pop in, set up a meeting, let's go have some lunch, have a conversation about, we can focus on what we need to focus on, but then we can talk about whatever too. You know? I don't know. That's what I've been doing. It seems to be working.
That's what we do too. You've got us on a weekly schedule of lunch, or right?
Yeah, I tell them quit paying for leads. Like, go out and buy lunch instead of buying leads, and then build those relationships in your community.
Yeah, but don't forget, meals don't make deals. It's all about us,
Coffee does. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, make the appointment and go, but
it's a lot more than just, hey,
yes.
that's so true. A lot of vendors and stuff try to get business from us, and I get that, and I get wanting to cater to your people.
Right.
But it's like, I was talking to somebody just earlier on another podcast that we did, and it was really special. Like, something happened in my personal life, and they stepped outside of their zone and sent me flowers. Like, it's just those little touches that not everybody else is doing.
100%.
Do you find yourself to be one of those people that's going that? And plus, your life partner that you're getting ready to marry, she's like a go-getter when it comes to that.
Yes, she does really well at her job, for sure.
Every single time we come to the office and she brings surprises of things about her business, I'm like, "Ooh, that was good. That was a good pop by."
For sure.
Yeah, I like the sparklers.
I was just thinking of the sparklers.
Were awesome. That was
they're
perfect.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had some of her people skills. She's really good.
Yeah. You should start learning from her,
I know. I'm sure I will.
By the end of the year, you'll have it all figured out. And,
True.
She'll start training you.
True.
So it's not only flood insurance, but you're talking about roofs. Like, what, as far as like what are things that people, when they're looking for homes, or you can even suggest to realtors when they're looking at homes, that it's like, hey, you should probably keep your eye on that for.
Well, in my opinion, you always want a roof 10 years or newer, because after that, the carriers start, some carriers don't want to cover it for 10 years old, especially
even on a 30-year shingle.
Especially even 15 years, it gets smaller. And most of the time, you guys are pretty good at negotiating. Hey, give me an allowance for a roof, or let's get a new roof on here, because it makes a difference. You know, because we always push replacement costs on roofs, but once it gets over 15 years, you're only going to get actual cash value. So if it's a 30-year roof and it's 15 years old, they come out and something happens, so we have another storm, you know, the adjuster is going to give you however much lifetime is left on the roof. So if there's only
50%.
50%, and then you got to think about your deductible. So say they gave you 10 grand, but your deductible is 4 grand or whatever, then you know what I mean? You're not going to get as much as you would on a
And so those are conversations you can have with the agent and the buyer, like whenever they're in their option period, about like what options they might want to go ahead and pursue with.
Yes, and that's what's so important in option period, to let them know, hey, this roof is 20 years old. These are only companies that are willing to cover you. It's only going to be actual cash value. So think about how much you're going to get received for the roof if something does happen, minus your deductible. So you're really not probably, you know, get anything near replacing a new roof.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you recently kind of have an experience like that?
I did. Well, in my scenario, the seller contacted the insurance company and tried to get a replacement roof put on because the inspection came back and said that the roof was compromised.
Mm-hmm.
And so the seller called the insurance company denied the claim, even though the inspection report was pretty clear about all of the damage. But anyways, they denied it.
What was the client? Was it a recent storm, or was it just old roof?
It was both. It was a combination. The age wasn't new for sure. I would say it was probably the 50%.
Right.
But then, is the fact that they are about to sell the house come into play at all for insurance companies? You know, if you look at it, if you're like, well, they're placing a claim, but they're about to sell the house. Like, I mean, is that a thing?
I mean, I've never really ran across it. I would think most times it comes down to negotiation. It's going to be put in the contract.
Can you put your mic up a little closer to you? Sorry.
You good?
You're good.
I think those would be negotiated in the contracts instead of making an insurance claim, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, I mean, if you're selling it, and, you know, you don't want to go down it. Because you don't want to make any claims either if you don't have to, because
It'll affect your next house insurance. Yeah.
Correct.
I get it.
And I have always heard that whenever you're looking at a house, like, is there a way on your end of things that you could look and see if there was ever any insurance claims open?
Yep.
Maybe if it's not disclosed on the disclosures, or if the seller doesn't even know from a prior owner?
Yes, we run a clue report. So that's going to go check the history of the location, see if there was any claims, if there's anything open. But if you're purchasing a new house, you know, it's not on you, as long as you haven't had any claims. But the house you're buying, as long as everything's closed out, you're good to go.
So do you tell the buyers, like, hey, there was this claim, even if you, like, whether they knew about it or not?
Meaning?
Like, for instance, if they didn't know there was a problem with the roof and it, like, had a claim on it before, but then, like, you run your clear report and it's like, no, they had it done 5 years ago or something like that. Like, is that something that you go ahead and tell the buyer, or no?
Yeah. I mean, I disclose everything.
Yeah.
Is the clear report something you can give to the buyer?
I mean, really they don't need it. It's just going to give us an underwriting all the information they need. So if something, you know, if something flags, you know, then we'll investigate it more.
It sounds almost like a Carfax report for
That's exactly what I was
for a
thinking.
house.
I was like, where do you get the VIN number
Yeah.
for a house?
Yeah.
So you just property address. Is that what it is? Or CAD?
Yeah, I run their, you know, we have their current address and their previous address. So if your buyers are buying this location for us, we're going to run the quote on this house, but we're also going to look at their previous address to see if they had any claims.
Oh.
So, yeah, and
like any unopened, unpaid, or what?
No, just if they've had any claims in the past, and yeah, I mean, just double check.
Because if they're like making a lot of claims, that makes a big difference, I'm sure.
On risk, for sure.
True. I mean, you'd be surprised with some of the things I've seen.
What are some of the craziest things that you've seen?
That's a good question. I like that one.
Like in life?
No,
all of it. Just tell us all. Spill the tea, Paul.
In claims, what's the craziest claim you've ever seen?
I mean, they're not really crazy. I mean, they're just claims,
Like an off-the-wall kind of thing that you're like, that I would
Somebody purposefully left the bathroom sink running and then went to London.
I personally haven't seen any of that stuff.
Oh, that's good.
You're dealing with very vanilla clients.
Well, I know where my mind, I just go off the facts.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to waste my time.
Have you ever seen a unique house, though, that you're like, that was going to be really difficult, or that's going to be a difficult policy?
Yes, I have. I mean, if you're living out in the middle of nowhere where there's 20 miles from a fire station, no fire hydrant, the fire risk, those are always not difficult, but I don't know how can I say it. There's just not as many options for that.
How do they overcome that with no fire hydrants? Ponds, or how do you?
Just coming up the right carrier. How to shop it around.
So there's probably carriers that are best for rural situations versus someone that's highly impacted by storms and so on and so forth.
Correct.
So you just have to learn those of what's best for what your particular client's looking for.
Yes. So our rating system gives us the best opportunities for them. And we can look around in zip codes and things and see, who's been writing in this area, so we can contact them and just find the best option for them. I mean, that's probably the most difficult, I guess, fire hazard. So
do you have any tips for anybody if they're like looking to buy things that they could do to lower their policy amount?
New roof.
Just buy a new roof? Or that's something that's important to look out for?
I mean, no, I hate to say, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I mean, new roof's going to help you for sure. Bundling home and auto is going to help you.
And you can put in boats and ATVs and all kinds of stuff.
This is crazy, but do y'all do pets? I have friends who have insurance on their pets.
Unfortunately, we don't.
Okay.
Might need to look into that, though.
They do. They have insurance on their pets.
Like for health insurance or something?
2 dogs. They haven't. I don't even. It's a good question. I hadn't considered that would be health insurance.
Yeah.
But maybe that is
like
what
at the vet.
Yeah.
You can do that. But life insurance.
Life insurance. And we do also sell life insurance as well.
Oh.
You're going to have to get back to us if there's the pet policy.
I just never heard of anybody insuring their pets until I have a friend who has both of her dogs insured. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, we actually just got a new dog, Labradoodle.
Ooh.
Molly.
Is that a new venture have you had a dog lately, or this is a whole new thing?
No, I haven't had one. Lane has had, she had a couple. They were older and kind of moved on. I don't know. We were just kind of kicking it around. And
Did you get a puppy?
Mm-hmm. Is it a puppy?
It is.
So how is that treating you?
She's good, man. I hate to say perfect, but she's really, really, really good.
That's not wood.
No. super happy. She's always been potty trained. She hasn't eaten anything yet or tore up anything. Yeah, I'm super happy with her for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I calculated yesterday. My dog's 13 years old.
Oh my gosh.
I had not yeah, I know. I was like,
say?
oh my gosh, you're 13.
That's so difficult. Like when you like have a pet for that long, like, and you know, can't keep him forever,
Yeah,
but enjoy it while you do.
I
True.
do. He's good.
Get through all the puppy stage, and then 13 years from now, you'll be like, that was fun.
I've decided I'm not doing another one for now. I always say that, though. I think it took about 3 months from my last dog passing till we got this one.
What kind of dog is
13
it?
years ago. This one's a black mouth cur.
Oh, wow.
He's the least hunting dog you'll ever meet, but he's smart. So
Those are the best.
Yeah.
And I had a Schnauzer. She was like 4 weeks old, and I had her for 14 years. And then I like, it was one of those that I was in, like, y'all know me enough that I don't like cry. And I was in bed for days crying about this dog. Like, it just broke my heart. And I was like, I'm never doing that again. And then my mother-in-law had an American Bulldog. She was like, you know, I don't want her new. So I went from like a little Schnauzer to this massive American Bulldog, and I'm ready to take on the world. Like, you know.
I feel like Bulldog fits you more.
Really?
Yes. You're a I don't know the word.
Yeah.
I'll think of it.
And it took me a while because I was like, I'll never get that close.
Powerhouse. There you go.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I like to think so. But it took me a while to like build that relationship with a new dog like that, and to get to that vulnerable position where it's just like, you know. But now I'm like, man, if something happened to him, I'd be really sad.
Right. Yeah, dogs are good, man. Nobody gets more excited when you come home.
Are you more of a dog guy or a cat guy?
100% dog. 100%. I think I'm allergic to cats.
Really?
I think I'm allergic to something.
Everybody who doesn't like cats says they're allergic.
I mean, I don't have an issue with them, but literally, like, I don't know. I just feel that way. Maybe not.
We won't hate you because
Maybe
of
I
it.
just don't like them. I don't know.
Adrian has like 14 cats.
14 cats. But we gave half of them away, so now we only have 6.
Oh.
Are you serious?
Yeah, but they're not indoor cats. Like,
Yeah,
like
they're barn
farm
cats.
cats.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, I would.
That's a lot of cats, man.
Paul said he wanted a cat.
I don't have blankets, I have cats.
I only have one, and she weighs about 5 pounds, and I'm scared to death of her. I'm like, literally, my husband and I will both run through the house to get away from her when she's in a mood.
I have one cat, and his name is Bear, and he thinks that he is a dog. Like, so he like curls up with my dogs at night and wakes up with them, and he runs in the yard with them. It's the weirdest thing.
Cats do have a mate, though.
How does the cat feel about the guineas?
He observes,
Oh.
you know, but he doesn't
Doesn't
yet.
go after.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
And not yet. I'm more worried about my dogs. I did a new venture of getting guineas.
Have fun with that, for sure.
I told her the same. I can't stand the sound.
It's really strange. Like, I grew up with my parents had them, I think just once, and we didn't have them very long because I think they're so loud. But these ones are quiet. Like, they're scared. They don't like. They're not doing their job.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah. I have
sure.
a feeling. They're hanging out with my chickens, and I think they think they're chickens. It's really weird. My cats think they're dogs. My guineas think they're chickens. So, where do you see like your business like going like by the end of the year? Like, are you just really focused on insurance, or you know, you think about adding more real estate to your business? What are you thinking?
Yeah, really focused on insurance. I mean, honestly, like I said, I have to hang my license somewhere. I don't want to be inactive, and I mainly just work off referrals.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not really.
That's not the primary focus of your day.
Right.
Like, but if the opportunity comes up, you're
Yeah.
there to help.
And exactly, and it's always friends and family that I'm helping
Right.
out. So,
Right.
Which I don't know. You know, the business that I do have, it doesn't affect my
Right.
other business.
Your livelihood or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not, you know, staying up 24 hours or anything like that.
You don't want to join the club.
That's another thing too with time management. You gotta depress.
Yeah.
You have to. Stress kills, for sure.
Is that something that you learned over time, that it was just like something happened? You don't have to dive into it, but is there anything that was like, I have to stop and smell the roses, in a sense?
Yeah. Me and a good friend of mine, we talk about this quite a bit. You got to live, too. You can't just grind, which I don't mind the grind. I love the grind. But you got to take a little bit of time for yourself. Or, come hang out like this, or go see your family, or whatever. Just step away from it for a minute. Because, it helps you, too. Stepping away and then coming back, either later on that evening or the next morning or whatever. For me, anyway, I feel 100%, refreshed and able to get after it again.
So what is it you do to decompress? Golf?
Golf. I like to do a little bit of yard work. I like mowing, which people find hard to believe.
Oh, no. That's my happy place.
Being outside, or going to dinner, or whatever.
Anything but.
Yeah. So, you got to. You can't, because then you start beating your head against the wall, trying to figure things out, and you're not focused. Yeah, you got to live a little bit.
Yeah.
We, unfortunately, learned that the hard way, so.
Yeah, you can. I think once you do it once or twice, then you're like, okay, I got to do something different.
Yeah.
And there's, I think there's something that, is really difficult as a parent is to, put food on the table, but then at the same token, take care of yourself,
right,
and run a business and do all those things. It's a balancing act for sure.
For sure. Time management.
Yeah. So you sit on Sundays. I love that. I actually have it in my calendar to plan your week ahead, and that alerts me every Sunday.
Yeah, because it makes your week so much more productive and easier on you.
You get more done, really.
Yes.
Be focused on the important
You're not
things.
running around, because you're going to get pulled.
I wanted to ask you about that. So you're getting pulled in different directions depending on what, hat you're wearing that day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how are you staying focused on the task at hand without getting distracted?
Well, it depends who's pulling. You just got to get back to it. I don't know how honestly, I don't know how or for me, I guess I deal with it, but I don't let it deter me for the rest of, I go back to what I need to be doing. Yeah, I don't know.
Are you an early riser or
I am.
a night guy?
What is early to you?
5.
Yeah.
Every
she's
day.
4:30. Oh, nope. Sorry.
For whatever reason, I don't even set my alarm.
You just get up? Yeah. Are you one of those, if your alarm does go off, that it's like once and you're up, or you got to hear it if you're tired a few times?
No, if my alarm's going off, it's because I have an appointment, or I have a phone call to make, or I need to bind this, or follow up on this, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So since you're getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
every day?
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Unfortunately.
do you have like a morning routine or anything like that? Or is it just that your internal clock is get up at 5 and see what happens?
I get up at 5. I'll make some coffee. I take a shower every morning and every night. Just kind of, in the morning it gets me going. At night it kind of relaxes me. Have coffee and then start working, unfortunately.
Start working on the tasks at hand for the day?
Yep. Need to start working out more. Lane and I, we started working out for like a week, and then for whatever reason we stopped.
Well, it takes about 30 days to get a habit.
21 days makes habit.
Oh, good. Yeah. That is more statistic. Yeah. All right. So what about on the real estate side? We've been asking everybody that's coming with us lately, just because of the major impacts that are happening to our industry. Do you think that the changes on August 17th are going to have a play in the players that are in this game?
No.
No.
No. I think goes back to all working together. I mean, if you don't want to put how much you're going to pay me or them or that, I mean, I'm going to call you. Hey, I have a buyer interested. I'm not worried about anything. Just wanted to confirm. And in my opinion, everybody's going to be 100% on board and hopefully think the same way, but probably not. And if somebody, is going to say, no, you got to go get your commission from the buyer, or not willing to work with you, then they're probably not going to have the best, how do I say, they're going to have issues, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
The sellers?
No, the agents.
Oh.
Because
that are not bringing their value to the table.
Right. And they're not willing to, like I said, it goes back together, working together. I mean, that's how it's always been. I think it's how it should be. But that's above my pay grade. So we can only do what we can do. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. So is there, if people wanted to reach out to you and maybe get an insurance quote, do you have a website, or are you on social media where they could reach out?
Yep. Facebook, Instagram. The best way is just call me.
Yeah.
979-877-9914. And that way, because I'm going to have to talk to you regardless anyway. I'm going to have to ask you questions about the home, your date of birth.
Mm-hmm. How long does that usually take for someone to know, to go through all those questions, just so they can plan accordingly?
Not long at all.
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Good.
And then we can have a quote done for you in another 20 minutes, if not sooner. If we don't have to, do any investigating about roof or plumbing or electrical. Yeah, I mean, the turnaround is quick for us because, like I said, we know how important it is, for your clients to know what they're dealing with.
Yeah, before they put, a lot down for their house and go through that whole process for one of their biggest investments.
Right. And, like I said, we all want referrals, and they're going to appreciate that, especially if, your clients, because we want them to have a good experience, so they keep coming back to you guys. So you have, lifetime clients.
Right.
That's what the ultimate goal is, for sure.
That. Well, thank you so much for being on with us today, Paul.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing more about insurance and everything.
I enjoyed it. We'll have to do it again for sure.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for tuning in to The Real Tea with T3. You can visit us on our website at www.texastrioteam.com. Thank you so much, and keep living your best life.